everybody. I hope you're having a wonderful Monday. So, to go along with our little mini series on healthy living, last week, if you remember, we talked about strategies to exercise at home, and this week we are talking about healthy foods and how to read a nutrition label. So, the nutrition label has a lot of information on it. I probably need to look at it a little more often, so this is a good session to remind me. But it can it can also be kind of confusing because it's got a lot of numbers on it. So we're just going to kind of break it down and what are some good things to look at. So the first thing to look at is your serving size. So that's usually up at the top. So you can see right here for this package of brownies, a serving size is 1/20th of the package. And then you can see on this thing of black beans, once I get in the right place, there you go. A serving size is 1/2 cup. You can see it right over there. So this is really important to know because that tells you what the rest of the nutrition information is based on. So the next thing to look at is calories. So the average person, adult, should consume about 2,000 calories per day, but that can also vary based on your weight, age, gender, and activity level. But that's just like a ballpark. So you can see right here in the half cup serving is 110 calories of these black beans, and in this brownie mix, an unprepared serving is 100 calories, and then a prepared serving is 107 over here. It's probably a little hard to read in the video, but there you go. So, next thing to check for is total fat. So, total fat tells you how much fat is in one serving of the product. Fat gives you energy. It helps your body absorb certain vitamins, and essential fatty acids can help the body function. But there's also some different kinds of fats you should be aware of, and we'll probably go into this in more depth in next week's session. But trans fats and saturated fats are generally good to limit or avoid when possible. So you can see on the nutrition label, they're broken down. So right here, you can see that a serving of oats has 2.5 grams of fat, but only 0.5 grams of that is saturated fat, right down there on that second level. And so that means the other 2 grams are healthy fats. Whereas on the black beans, you can see that there's 0 grams of fat. So that's also a good thing to be aware of. Okay, so the next thing to look at is sodium. So typically, adults should aim for less than 2,300 milligrams of sodium per day. But if you have any risk factors, often it's recommended to aim for 1,500 milligrams or less. If you have risk factors like high blood pressure, kidney disease, diabetes, but that's also something you can talk to your doctor more about, your specific needs. So you can see for sodium in this can of beans, they have 85 milligrams. Then you can see the percentage daily value right over here, 4%. And in this oats, you can see has 0 milligrams of sodium, so no salt in that. Okay. And so the sodium is one that often surprises me, especially in like frozen foods or packaged foods. So definitely just something good to be aware of. Okay, so next you can look at total carbohydrates, including sugar and dietary fiber. So fiber is a type of carbohydrate that your body cannot digest, but it can help prevent stomach or intestinal problems such as constipation, and it might also help lower your cholesterol or blood sugar. So it's a good thing to have look for in some of the foods you choose. So looking at this can of black beans, you can see that it has 20 grams of carbohydrates and 9 grams of fiber. So a lot of fiber, 32% of your daily value. So the other thing to look at is sugars and added sugars. So you can see this one has 0 grams of added sugars. But some of the other things like sugary cereal or other sweet packaged foods often have more added sugars. So that's another thing you want to limit or pay attention to. Okay, finally protein. So proteins, often called the body's building blocks, they are really useful in helping build and repair tissues and fighting infection and provide energy for your body. So that's another great thing to look for. So in this can of beans, you can see 7 grams of protein, so that's great. And down here, you can see in a serving of oats, you have 5 grams of protein. Okay, and then the last thing to really check on is the number of ingredients. So ingredients are usually they're listed in some different places, but they're near the nutrition label. So for example, you can see these are at the bottom. So you can see organic prepared black beans, water, and sea salt are the 3 ingredients, and they're listed from the most to the least. So the greatest proportion of ingredients is the black beans in this one because it's listed first. And you can see in the brownies have a few more ingredients. They're right down there. So the first one is sugar. So that means that's also a good thing to be aware of, that the largest ingredients in these is sugar. You can see in the oats, they are just whole grain rolled oats. So in general, a rule of thumb is the fewer ingredients there is, the healthier it is, because that means it's less processed. Okay, so those are just a few of the things we went over in the session today. I hope that was a little bit helpful, and we'll look forward to checking in with you more next week. And hope you have a great rest of your day.